Hello, everyone. Welcome to the live stream. We'll begin shortly, and we'll start by taking a look at the castle that we just built, and I'll get your thoughts on it and comments before I dismantle it and present you the choices for today's live stream. So just give me a moment to set that up, and we will begin shortly. But in the meantime, here are the castle. We see here the king and queen. When I was building this live, I did not actually put the queen together in her current form. So there's what she looks like next to the king, and I think it's a quite good look. What do you think? Be sure to share in the comments down below. In the meantime, I'm moving things around behind the scenes to prepare for the upcoming sets. But think about what you want to vote for. Check the thumbnail of the video and I'll have a poll out very soon. And I'll play the Viking music or medieval music once again after the ads have played. Wait for the ad, wait for the ad. All right. Yeah, I do think they look very nice together. All right, I'm back. I'm going to start putting away the castle now and give you the next sets that we have for building this time. And I will set up the pool shortly. Just setting something up right now. Trying to get a few more people on this live stream. And I do apologize for the background noise. There's some construction going on. I have no control over that. So I'm gonna write the poll first, then I'll take care of the castle. And I'll zoom out just to give a better overview of it. So we have the Italian Riviera, we have the Going Merry pirate ship. We have the train, Spider-Man train, Spider-Man subway train. And we also have the One Piece. We also have the One Piece circus. So be sure to get your votes in, people, because the one with the most votes is the one that I'll be building next. And for those of you who just joined the live stream, welcome. You came just in time. I built this castle last time. Now I'm gonna take it apart. I'm not gonna take it apart piece by piece, but I'll just take it away and I'll get some new sets that we're gonna be building today instead. And I'm gonna do this very quickly by just taking the components apart and putting them in this Lego bag, at least for now. I'll come back later and rearrange the stuff. I just want to get things done quickly so as not to keep people waiting. Thankfully, this castle is easily separable, so we can just do this and put it away, which makes it good for play as well. These things come off very easily, but that's okay. They're meant to. The clips are a bit finicky, as I've noticed, so that is something to keep in mind. This is the largest section. There's no easy way to split this into multiple pieces, so I'll just handle this one separately. I'll just take everything away and I'll be back. So we've got the Italian Riviera right here. That's definitely one option. We've got the one-piece pirate ship. That's another option. We got this Spider-Man train right here, which is currently leading in the vote, but the vote is not over. And we also have the circus, so let me get that as well. Here, it's going to be hard to display everything all at once. So what I'll do is I'll just put the one-piece set on top. I'll have these two right here. And I'll actually physically lift this because otherwise there's just not enough space. So once again, here are the choices. The one-piece Going Merry pirate ship, the Italian Riviera, which can split up similar to a modular building. We also have this subway train right here. That's another option, as well as this one-piece circus tent. And here are the minifigures for this set, as well as this one here. Let's turn on the flash to make that easier to see. So again, here are the minifigures, including Buggy the Clown. Here's the one for the Spider-Man. And here's a better look at the Italian Riviera. This one has, I believe, 10 minifigures or something close to that. But the focus is much more on the build, more than the minifigures, which are rather generic. And here are the minifigures for the pirate ship. Although again here, I do think the focus is more on the build, even though the figures are exclusive and they're said to be quite good. I hope that's actually the case. So let's keep the voting going for another minute or two. So if you're watching, please make sure that you have voted. Pick your favorite set from these sets, these 4 sets right here, and I will build one of them without the instructions very soon. Then I'll go to the second place and so on. All right, so if you want a set, you better make sure to vote for it in the poll. Let's see. Right now, I do not see any votes for the Italian Riviera at this time. So make sure that you cast your vote before it's too late. And then I'll also change the music based on what we choose. So there's now a tie between the Spider-Man subway train and the Italian Riviera. So if you have not voted yet, now is the time to vote, and make sure you're signed in so that you can vote. Or if you're under the age of 16, you're going to need to get an adult to sign in for you because of YouTube's new rules. So, all right, I see 5 votes have come in, 4 votes, 5 votes. Okay, so lots of votes have come in at the last minute for the Italian Riviera, even though the train was leading. So thank you for all of you who have voted. Okay, so now all the votes are coming in for the Italian Riviera. Like I got like 6 or 7 votes for it all at the same time. So maybe it's a technical glitch with the live stream. I'm not sure how that happened. I got like 0 votes for it, then it went straight up to first place in like 1 second, which is crazy. But yeah, I think the Italian Riviera is a clear winner by a huge margin. So this is what we're going to build first without the instructions. And then I will build the others, but I'll build them afterwards. So I'll just move the other sets out of the way. Oh, you voted for the subway. Oh, I thought you wanted the Italian Riviera based on your previous message. But don't worry, I will build the subway afterwards. It's not going anywhere. Oh, you have lots of outs? Interesting. I did message some of the people that I know to join the live stream. Okay, well, that's an interesting story. Thank you so much for voting regardless. I will be building all of these sets. It just depends on the order that we're going to build them in. So I'll just rotate this box around and talk about it very quickly, then flip it back to the back and we'll start the build. This is just so that when I do my recap video later, I have like some nice footage to go along with it. Hi everyone, this is the Lego Ideas Italian Riviera. I'm going to build it without the instructions. This is an 18 plus set with this amount of pieces, and this is the set number. And the cost of this set is... What is the cost of this set? I forgot, but I believe it's in the $350 range. 350 Canadian dollars if I'm not right, but check lego.com for the updated price information. It's somewhere in that realm. All right, that's cool. Thank you so much for watching the stream. I always appreciate that. So here's a look at the front of the box. It's very exciting despite the black background, just because the set itself is very colorful and it takes up most of the front of the box, and we have this nice glow behind it. Somebody said that this reminded them of Balrog, and I do agree. We zoom in, we see the minifigures, and this lady was either parking her scooter at the water or gonna like drive into the water, depending on your interpretation. All right, enough talking about the box. Oh, by the way, here's a look at the minifigures at the top, real quick. It's $299. Okay, thank you for providing the price. So it's apparently $300. I think that's US dollars. Here's a look at the back of the box. You see that this set has modules that can be separated just like a modular building. Here's how the Lego Ideas system works. Here are the dimensions of the set. Now, let's open the box and see what's inside. That's my signature catchphrase. And I'm happy that they use the tapes here and not the push tabs, which would be ridiculous on a set of this size. Oh no, now I cannot resell the set. It's no longer sealed. Oh no. But it's actually totally fine, because we're going to be building this baby. Oh wow. That's a lot of stuff. And I forgot to see like how full the box is, but it felt to me that the box is pretty full. So it feels like we got our money's worth just from the very initial appearances, although initial appearances can be deceiving. So let's sort things through. 25 bags. And by the way, I have not looked at the instructions in advance. The instructions are available online and in this sleeve packet right here. So I'll get back to this in a moment. But yeah, I've not seen in advance how many bags this thing has or what the thing looks like, because I want to basically do this live in front of you guys and give you my honest first reactions. So what I'll do is I'll sort the bags first. And when I'm doing this on a non-live video, I usually pause the video so you don't see the boring stuff. But here, unfortunately, I don't have any way of doing that. I do not have a time machine yet, so you'll have to sit through me sorting through these. But at least I found bag 1. I also found a bunch of large plates that are not included in any bag, so I will hold on to these and showcase them later. I do apologize for the noise of the plastic if it bothers you. I don't know how much the microphone is catching it. And soon we'll be switching to some Italian themed music, so that's going to be fun. So here are the first 10 bags, which I will arrange in some kind of formation. I'm just going to count the number of bags so I can announce that number. People like to know that. I think there's no more than 25. I think it's 25 bags in total. I don't see a bag 26. In this set, we got 25 numbered bags, numbered from 1 to 25. Here's a look at the first 10 bags. And later on, this audio is going to be put in the recap video for the review of the set. Check those out once the live stream is over, just if you want to get a recap of that build. Now, for the purposes of, I'll just put the other bags on top of these. I don't want to remove these and put them back. So basically, each bag is going to have its own bag plus 10. So 3 plus 10, 13, and so on. Eleven, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, and let's do 20, 0 as well. And here are the bags from 11 to 20. Lots of interesting colors right there. So now I have no choice. I have to clear all these bags and then do the final remaining bags. Although, I really wish I didn't have to do that. But nevertheless, okay, so it's going to be 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, put those behind the scenes for now. And finally, here are bags 21 to 25. So that's a lot of bags in this set. In this set, we also get these two plates that are not part of any bag. So these are 6 by 16, I believe, in dark tan. We get 2 of them. And then we also get this sleeve right here that contains the instructions as well as a sticker sheet. Just be careful when opening this thing. actually there are two instruction manuals in the set. This is the first one, which has a QR code to scan for points. And this is the second one. It has the exact same background, which is not very useful because I would like for the first instruction manual to say, okay, we're going to build this part first, and then this part second, or something like that, so that multiple people can build this together and combine the set together. I hope this is what this set is like, but I have a feeling this might not be the case, but we'll find out soon enough, even though we're not going to look at the instructions, especially not the instruction steps. This is a look at the sticker sheet. So here's a look at the sticker sheet. It's not that bad for a set of this size, although of course I would have preferred it if the set included no stickers at all. And we do see here a hint that the set might retire relatively soon, because here we see 2025, and usually LEGO does not include the current year in stickers, so that the set can be extended like for a few years. But yeah, we see here 2005, which might be the year that the designer was born, which is relatively recent in the grand scheme of things. So yeah, I don't know how long this set is going to be on store shelves, but it is something that just released, so it should be available for at least a year or two, or at least a year and a half, let's say. So I will be using a brick separator included with the set to apply the stickers. I'll put the stickers away for now, but we'll come back to them as needed. For the instructions, I will not look at the instructions in detail. There's going to be a part list at the end of the second instruction manual. You could look at that on your own. It's available on lego.com. Here's a look at the minifigures included in the set. Here we actually have 7 minifigures. I thought we had 10. And I'll just look at the first few pages of the instructions just to see if there's anything interesting, as usual. And you can hit pause if you want to read this on your own, although actually because we're doing this live, I'm not sure if you can pause it. So basically, I'll just give kudos to the LEGO fan designer. And here he's holding what I guess is the original submission, because you see the colors are a little bit different, and you get much more of a beach compared to what we have in the actual set. So yeah, kudos to Alex, or Galaxy333, for a very successful design. He must be very proud, so definitely kudos to him. And the same information is available in French and Spanish on the other page. There's some description of the Italian coast, as well as this picture right here, which looks very nice and provides some inspiration. And this is what I wanted the set box art to look like. I wanted it to look something like this, with like the sky and the mountains and the water, and not just the boring black background. Here's some more information from the LEGO Ideas design team. So some pictures here of the set, and here's a look at the set from a different angle. So this might be useful to look at when building the set without the instruction steps, just because you get to see things from above, like the layout of the pavement right here, for example, as well as the water and just some of the roof details. And then finally, we do see that we got an orange brick separator, and it tells you open bag 1 and start building the set with this minifigure. At this point, we'll never look at the instructions again. I'll just put them away, and we'll start building with bag number 1. Alright, and when putting the instructions in the bag, be careful not to make them touch the adhesive, otherwise you might ruin them and ruin their usefulness or resale value. The next thing that I'll do is I'll put away the bags in reverse order. So I'll put bag 25 at the bottom, bag 24 on top of it, and so on. And the reason why I do this is so that I'm going to reach into the bag and just pull the bags in order. And this way, like the lower numbered bags are going to be at the top, so it's going to be easy to take the next bag each time. That's what I recommend if you're building a set and you don't have a lot of space to hold the bags. So I'm going to do that right now. And again, I wish I could fast forward this, but I don't have a way to do that with the technology that I have. But what we can see is that just based on the bags, we can kind of guess what part of the building we're going to construct based on the predominant color. So that's interesting to see. So we're going to be building this yellow stuff towards the end, at least the top floor of it. Here are all the tea bags. It's also good to count the set. It's also good to count the bags when you get a set, because on rare occasion you might be missing a bag, or you might have like 2 bags 8 and no bag 9. That could happen sometimes. So you do want in those situations to call LEGO customer service, explain the situation, maybe send them a picture. Oh, I have duplicates of this bag, but not enough of another bag. That's why it's always good to count the bags at the start of building a set to avoid any potential disappointment. Although it's quite rare that this stuff happens. And by the way, the box is off camera. I will be referring to it occasionally, but bag 1 is here. We're going to start with that very shortly. I just have to keep putting the other bags away first. Alright, so let's put up some nice Italian themed music. That's copyright free, of course. Don't copyright me. And I'll try to find something instrumental. And of course, let's not play the ads. While waiting for the ads, I'll open bag 1. And please do share in the chat what you think about the build, what you think about this set overall, at least from first impressions. Did you buy this set? Are you planning on buying this set? Please share with the commenters. And also let us know if LEGO came with like a $100 version of this set, maybe like open back and scaled down. Would that be interesting to you? So some people I know they cannot get this set because it's a bit too expensive. But if LEGO gives us a cheaper version of the set, would that be interesting to people? Because I think it's something that LEGO should consider. Maybe like 6 months down the line, give us like a cheaper version of the set so that people can actually afford it. Not everybody has $300 or more to spend on a set like this. Okay, so the music's playing. And we're gonna get started with the build. Let's put the minifigure together first. This first minifigure is, I guess, okay to get. I don't have any specific complaints against him, but all the parts are generic. These are parts that we've seen many times before. There's a dual expression right here, but still, it's a minifigure that we've seen many times before. We've seen this piece many times before. We've seen this piece many times before. The legs are not printed and not dual molded. And again, LEGO Ideas is much more about the build than the minifigures, so I do understand that. But I do wish for such an expensive set, they would have given us like some side printing, some dual molding. Just give us something a bit more deluxe, you know? So yeah, maybe save these cheaper minifigures for the like $100 version of this set that's open back and maybe has like 2 buildings instead of 3. I do think lots of people would be interested in a similar aesthetic in a set, but without having to pay the exorbitant cost. And I know LEGO sometimes they do this with a big modular building that's very expensive and then a cheaper version that's open back but a lot more accessible to kids and people on a tight budget. So I definitely think LEGO should have gone that route. I don't see these pieces being used yet, so I'll just put them to the side and I'll reach out for them when I need to. It looks like for bag 1, obviously we're going to be building the foundation. And a lot of these colors are going to be hidden away. We're not going to see them in the end, but they do have some special symbolism for either, I'm guessing the white, red, and green represent Italy. So that's probably the Italian flag right there. And the blue and yellow, they probably represent something about the designer, either the LEGO designer or the fan designer, or both. LEGO always likes to give us hidden messages with these colors. They're not totally random, at least not most of the time. We gotta start from somewhere. I guess we'll start from the side of the water. Speaking of which, I had a sip of water just now. All right. And it's actually offset by 1, like this. Or rather, like this. I did see the set built at the LEGO store and it looked incredible. It looked amazing to me. And I already had wanted to buy it based on the online pictures, but then seeing it in person fully built motivated me to get it even more. And it's just a reminder as to what you can do with just standard LEGO pieces. There are very few like special molds in this set. It's all standard LEGO pieces, yet still it's a masterpiece. And kudos to both the LEGO designer and the fan designer for this. If anyone knows what these colors represent, if you recognize a pattern, please share, because I'm trying to think of what these colors in this particular order represent, but the only thing I can think of is that these are gelato flavors that the gelato store will be building later. It reminds me of some of the flavors I've seen at a recent trip to the ice cream store. But maybe there's a hidden message. Surprisingly, we're putting like this transparent piece here. It will probably be never seen again. I also don't know what is the reference for this. It's interesting why Lego does that sometimes. And yes, I'm seeing this from the 3D view of the first building phase. The final output of that. Make sure you got the foundation right, because if you get this wrong, you have to take apart the whole thing and start from scratch. I'm also noticing each type of plate here has a different color. So all the 2x2s are this light azure, all the 1x2s are dark blue, all the 1x3s are green, all the 2x3s are yellow, and so on. So I'm wondering if that is also intentional. It probably is. Could it be that these are the cheapest pieces of this size and this color, or like this is the color that's the cheapest for this size of piece. I'm actually curious to know if anyone has Bricklink on hand or they know off the top of their head. I'd be very curious to find out. Or is it that there's a secret meaning? Or perhaps both? This actually goes here. You can see this thing is expanding rapidly. And this is the difference between this and a modular building. With a modular building, you have like a 32 by 32 base plate, and you know basically the footprint of the set from step one. But here, we still don't know what the size of the set is going to be. And we might not know for a while because from what I see here, we're going to be attaching this to something else. I'm just going to do a quick update in the background. Shouldn't take very long. All right, back to the build. It's rare to see so many bricks in a LEGO 18 Plus set where there's a lot more plates and tiles. And even here, the different bricks have different colors. I'm guessing to make it super easy for first-time builders to quickly find what they're looking for. For first-time builders, I would recommend trying something smaller, especially if you're going to build it without the instructions. If you're going to build it with the instructions, I don't think it's that bad though. I'm guessing this is one of the more productive bags of the set, and by that I mean that you feel like you make a lot of progress in this bag because you build a large volume of stuff very quickly. So it feels like you're making rapid progress. It's time to work the other side. already have some studs on the side construction right here, even from the very beginning, and that's these headlight bricks right here used to hold on to this piece of rock work jutting out. I do like the way that they did this tile right here. I attached this piece on top of it just to give it that nice smooth texture, and then from here you don't really see that yellow piece anymore. So that's pretty smart work by the designer. And oops, I knocked over the minifigure. Oh, there's still this one piece. No pun intended. Oh yeah, it just goes here. Bag 1 gives us the photographer minifigure, as well as the base of the first part of the Italian Riviera. So here's a look at what that looks like. It's very colorful, but most of these colors are going to be completely hidden once the build is done. I'm going to take all the extra pieces and put them in a small little bag for future use, and just in case we need to use one later. Because sometimes when building without the instructions, some parts are not clear and then we end up needing to use these. Or sometimes LEGO does not include enough pieces, so I did have to steal one of the extra pieces from the creator castle yesterday to finish the build. So sometimes that does happen. So the next thing we'll do is build bag number 2. This looks to be about the same size as bag 1. I'll just have that ready to go. I think I'll put the pieces, yeah, I'll put the pieces here. Oh, we have a crab. Oh, this piece, I don't know what set. Is this from the castle or from this set here? I think it's probably from this set here because I do see here this piece right here. So this is going to be an extra piece, but it's important that we don't forget anything in these bags, especially if we're going to throw them away later. And it does not look like there are any minifigures in this bag, but here's a look at that crab. We have seen this crab before in other sets, including possibly LEGO Friends. You can clip onto stuff here. There's a stud and an anti-stud. And there's also a clip here at the back so you can hold on to it from the bottom as well. So quite a nice piece. And if you're using this inside your builds, you might be able to attach stuff using this crab and people would never know. So it's a pretty interesting piece. And I'm wondering how this fits within system. I'm just gonna do some very basic research to see if there's any super important pieces in this particular bag. And I'm gonna do some sleuthing on New Elementary, which is an excellent website, by the way. So I'll just see basically what stuff came in this new set. know each set has like a particular number of new elements, either recolors or new molds. So let's see, what do we get for the Italian Riviera? Sometimes we do this research in advance, but when doing it live, it's pretty hard to pre-plan that. Okay, so there's some new prints, new colors. There's one very interesting piece. That's maybe the most interesting piece in this set, but we have not gotten to it yet. So for now, I'll just hold off on that until we get to that building phase. And I don't know which one it is in advance, so you'll have to wait and see. So essentially all these pieces here are standard. Nothing here is extremely special, but still nice pieces to get regardless. I always love new Lego pieces. So it looks like maybe we're going to be using one or two of these plates in this building phase. I'll double check. Yeah, it looks like we're going to use both of them. In bag 2, we also use these two plates that are not part of any bag. It looks like we attach these right here and here. I'll try to align them to each other, although it doesn't really matter because they're going to get covered up either way. And I'll just make sure I got that right from the other side. Yeah, it looks about right. So you see here from the underside, these plates are held very well by all the stuff that we placed on top of them, so we can safely press down without having to worry about the stability. So that's nice indeed. And the same thing will apply on this side once we finish that rock work. But while we have this surface already done, let's put stuff on top of it just to minimize the number of pieces used, make life simpler for ourselves. As they say, measure twice, cut once, or just in this case, this means just look carefully at what you build before you attach it. Otherwise, you have to use the brick separator to remove pieces and do things all over again. So just be patient and take your time. Enjoy the build. There's no rush unless you work at the Lego store and you need to build this ASAP for a display or something like that, or you're part of a speed building competition. If you're not doing those things, then slow down and enjoy the build. I love placing tiles on bricks or plates because it's just very relaxing. I like the smooth texture of the tiles. It reminds me of the modular buildings. I keep knocking over the cameraman, but he's still smiling. So what they did is that they put the jumper plates in this small bag and the regular plates in this other bag so that they're not mixed up, which I do appreciate. We don't need to worry about the sprue marks here because these are going to be covered from all their sides. So just place them any way you like. And these are going to either hold on to some side builds or to minifigures. So it's important to put these in the right spot. And I'm guessing to minimize confusion, they're using the 1x2 plate and 1x2 tile instead of the combined piece, just to avoid having people mix 3 different types of 2x2 pieces. So I do feel this is a little bit juniorized, to be honest, but I do understand why LEGO wants to do this because lots of 18 plus fans are new to LEGO or they have not built LEGO in many years. So LEGO wants to be as accommodating to them as possible. Plus maybe these pieces are used elsewhere in the build and they don't need to include another piece to the part inventory if they can avoid it. Although kids, I did say this was juniorized, but it's not quite the term I'm looking for because kids probably don't have the patience, especially these days, to build large sets like these. There's a well-documented issue of attention spans. People these days, they have less than 1 minute attention spans because they're just scrolling through various social media applications. That's why short form content is doing really well recently. People that want to watch something quickly and move on to the next. When you're building this set, you want to do the opposite. You want to slow down, relax, and really be mindful of what you're doing. This is a long-term project and not a quick thing to do. And so now that we've absorbed these pieces here, we can focus on the other parts of the build without having to worry about these pieces. I'm looking for a 1x2 tile, which I'm not currently seeing. Should be somewhere around here, I believe. Oh well, we'll find it eventually. We know when we find it to put it here. So So now let's focus our attention on this part of the build. And here there's lots of similarities in the rock work. It's easy to make mistakes, so pay close attention to what you're doing. I feel like I want to put this light 1x1 here, but maybe it's used elsewhere, or maybe it's one of these. But we have to think about this first, because we're going to need these pieces somewhere else in the build. So here we need to be a bit more careful about what we're doing. For those of you who are new to the live stream, welcome. Thank you so much for joining. Currently on bag 2 of the Italian Riviera. Bag 2 is definitely a lot more challenging than bag 1, which is just the framework with the easy colors. Now you have to build this rock work. A lot of it is very similar. I'm relying on both the box and the 3D view for this. because the box does not show this thing from the back at all. It looks like this is just going to be one of those 1x1s because there's nothing to connect a longer piece here. And here, this actually makes sense. This can go here. We do see that one of the sub-assemblies looks like this. So let's set that up right now. This is also going to absorb a lot of the pieces. And now I see on top of this green piece, there's going to be this white piece right here. Like this. And there's going to be one parallel to it on the tan brick that's closest to it, like so. Yes. So actually, we might have more of these than we need. I'll do a search for more of these white bricks. I count 1, I count 2. Okay, I only see 2. I could be wrong. I could be wrong, but I don't think I'm wrong. So this means that these 2 are reserved. This one I can use here. And that leaves me 1 to spare in case I needed to use it somewhere else. So now we can close this off and start adding stuff on top of here. But first we need to add some stuff here. This goes here. And this goes here. surprisingly enough. So if I put this here, there's gonna have to be like a 1x4 underneath it, or a 1x2 or something. It's actually going to be 1x4, this 1x4. Yeah, because if we put like a funky color here, it will appear like where this triangle is at. So this actually makes perfect sense. And this also means that this would go here, and this would go here. Logic would dictate, as Zane from Ninjago would say. Actually, no, this does not go here. Not necessarily. Just need a 1x2 or something by 2. Or let me look. Yeah, there we go. Then we have a headlight brick with a rock pointing this way, just to give some additional texture. And notice how here we have some nice Lego geometry. The headlight brick is actually recessed a little bit, but the sloped piece is not like at a perfect triangle, but the two cancel out. So this is a very nice curve right there. So that's some nice Lego geometry, probably from the Lego designer. Although it could also be the fan designer if they're really good with these things. I do know here we have some like dark tan piece as well, for sure. But at the same time, we have this. And one more next to it. That means most likely it's this piece right here. Let's make sure. Yes. We also have this, or rather this. And this must go here. And we need the 1x1s. This must go here. But we might have some stuff to put underneath it. Yeah, this is where we start guessing a little bit. It's not always entirely clear how to do things. I'm just making sure that the light is on properly. Sometimes it's hard to see. Relight on. Okay, I think this improves the lighting a little bit. All right. Crab is still waiting. He has a home somewhere on the side here. We haven't gotten to that yet. Does this fit here? Nope. Off by one. So we'll have to use one of these. Unless I'm off by one somewhere else. This goes here. I believe this goes here. I'm not sure. Hard to tell for sure. Actually, yeah, I think this goes like this. Because then with that, we can add this piece. And actually, perhaps this goes here. Does that make sense? Maybe? Actually, no. This might go here, though. With this coming out like this. This is probably it. Now can we put this here? I think so. Hopefully I don't have to disassemble this. And then we need to do a bit more construction before adding this piece. But that would be the next thing to work on. We still have not located the 1x2 tile that goes here. Might be stuck in the bags somewhere. Although I don't really see it. Or there might be like a small mistake in the way that I put things together, because I see an extra one of these that we have not used. We'll take a look at that afterwards. So let's spin this around. And by the way, from most angles, this is going to be the back of the set. This is the set. This is the part that's not shown on the box. So this part might be a bit more difficult to build because it's not the default view that's presented everywhere. And this is not the full front either. This is something that's going to be attached to the front, as you can see with these pieces right here. I'm going for a very interesting choice of color here. It sounds like an ad. All right, so I restarted the music. This fits perfectly right here. Here's the fourth white brick, it goes here. And now we can put this big plate here. That's very satisfying to finally attach that. So this is quite a raised platform. It reminds me of those Lego raised base plates that they used to produce 20, 30 years ago. You just had get like one piece with like a raised part. Here we're building it brick by brick, kind of like what we did with the Eldorado Fortress from 2023, which is a remake of a previous set with a raised base plate. This gives me very similar vibes. This looks like it goes here. And this looks like it could be part of the cobblestone sidewalk. going to add these pieces now because they help with the positioning. I think I might want to double check this. I think I might have made a mistake here. So let's think about this. Jumper. Okay, so this, I need to remove this piece. Okay, so this is where our missing piece went. This should have been here. And this goes here. And so now this aligns with what we expect to see. All right, that looks better. We no longer have that gap here. So that's always very good. So as you build something more and more, the stuff that was not obvious at the beginning becomes more and more obvious. So yeah, we've used up most of the pieces in the set so far, or in this bag so far. We still have one more jumper though. Oh, but it is used somewhere in the center, so that is okay. Oh, this is actually off by one. This goes here. Well, it looks like we might be missing one of these white bricks actually. One, two. Not sure. feels like we're gonna do this over here as well. Actually, this does not go here. So here and here, we're gonna put this white plate. And it's too early to know the significance of this difference in heights between this and this. It's just a one plate difference, or the difference between this and this, but it will become apparent soon enough. So somehow we need to integrate this piece in, and it feels like this piece goes here. Although we might have something to put underneath it. So let's look at that closely. Yeah, this goes here. And that's pretty much all that we can see for sure. So this does go here, but maybe this is placed underneath it to give it more stability. Well, we can actually find out by building the stuff on top of this first. We haven't finished the rock work though. That's another thing we need to do. So maybe we should do that first actually. This is the only piece that fits here. And this, so this is coming together fairly quickly. And the only thing that would fit here is two of these. So good thing we did not use them elsewhere. I knew we would need them. We're still not completely done with the rock work though, because we still have 3 of these pieces remaining. So where do these go? Now, over here, we have this. Very nice. Perfect fit. And then because I don't know whether or not this piece is used, well, it doesn't seem to be used. Actually, it does seem to be used. How many of these? How many of these do we have? Only one. Okay, so it looks like we cannot put this here because we will use it elsewhere. So let's just Plug this in here. Oh, did we add too many pieces? No, it's good. So there's an intentional gap, and this might make it easier to disassemble the set later if you want to customize it and turn it into your own thing. Yeah, this goes right here. I'm trying to have all these point the same way. So let's flip this. It's debatable whether this makes it look better or worse. Have all the sprue marks pointing the same way, but I just like the consistency personally. Although in this case, this whole thing is all garbled, and I don't think it's going to make a big difference either way. But still. That looks like we add this piece. So it's kind of like a very slow or like incline. I know that we're going to add this on top, which leaves us with just some pieces to add here. And then we'll be done with this bag. Right, so we ran out of pieces other than some parts that are remaining, and this looks to me like we're going to create some gelato and chocolate and give it to the minifigure or the crab. We'll just set it aside for now. And yeah, all these are extra pieces. We'll just set them to the side and move on to bag number 3. So bag 2 continues building this part of the base. We have this tiled off floor. We have this cobblestone sidewalk right here, or street, if you want to call it that. And then we continue the build of this part right here. It reminds me of a raised base plate. And we continue the rock work on the back part of the set. We also get the crab in bag 2, as well as this chocolate gelato that can be given to either the photographer or the crab. Just gonna set up and take a sip of water, etc. It's pretty hot in my location today. I'll actually try something different and put the pieces in front of me. And if there's any interesting pieces, I will show them to you, just because I think it's going to be more comfortable for me that way. And I want to be able to do this live stream for as long as I reasonably can without being cramped. Or how about I'll show you the pieces, then I'll move them out of frame. Okay, yeah, how about we do that? So here are the pieces, including, yay, some masonry bricks, which we did not get in the castle. A yellow crab this time. That's interesting to see. Or a yellowish orange crab. Maybe that's a deep fried crab, now that I think about it. But wait, are crabs red in real life? When they're like uncooked and just in the wild? I don't think they're bright red like that. At least not all the species of crabs, from what I know. You also get some guns. They're not intended to be used as guns, but you could use these as guns, and since this is the Italian Riviera, I think they knew what they were doing here. Some other interesting pieces in this bag include this barrel piece, this fish net. We have seen this before, but it's large enough to accommodate the crab, at least in part. So that's pretty fun to get. We also get different colors of fish, including this green fish right here, which is either rotten or radioactive. You choose. And by the way, did you know that fish have a hollow stud? So you could attach like a bar thing to them. So that's pretty interesting. You also got these two daggers on a sprue, which is pretty rare for LEGO to put things on a sprue like this and not in like a bag of some sort. So yeah, I'll remove both of them. And since there's no minifigure in the set, they both go to the photographer by default until we use them somewhere in the build, if we do. And this piece, I'll just either toss it or put it to the side. I don't think it's super valuable. So yeah, now I'll just move the pieces off camera, and at least these large pieces, just to make the build process a bit more comfortable for myself so I can build longer and build faster. And how are we doing today? How are we liking the build so far? So it looks like we're going to be building a fishing store. That's what it looks like. With a bunch of holes in the wall. Oh, that's pretty ominous, actually. Again, Italy, guns, holes in the wall. That's pretty on the nose. That's pretty on the nose. It's not me, it's the set. I wonder what they were thinking when they designed this. And since I literally have never seen this set from the back, I don't know what they're talking about. But we'll find out soon enough. I'm pretty sure that the holes in the wall, and by holes I mean these Technic pieces, are actually used for some specific purpose. So it's probably not the final form. I'm pretty sure it's not. But we shall see in due course. Actually, we're going to be building on this side. Very important that we build the right store. Pretty sure this goes here. This is dark orange, the same color as the X mansion, the corner garage or garage. This music is familiar. One piece. I actually want the brackets here. Oh, this is fun. And I'm really enjoying myself with this set. Like, it's never boring. You're always doing something a little bit different each time, which keeps it interesting. And here you really feel the difference between this set and the Crater Castle. Not that the Crater Castle is a bad build, but just this is a lot more unique, a lot more variant, and there's also a lot more color choices involved. The castle is mostly light bluish gray and some dark bluish gray. But here we already have so many colors, including even for the base, where it doesn't really matter that much for the final outcome. And before we build the walls too deep, I know we wanted to use some of the pieces for the walls. Let's start to build some of the interior details, just so we can place them in easily, and then we'll wrap it up with the remaining walls. So this is a fish store. We're gonna have like some stuff where fish is sold, obviously. It does look like at least some of it can be built independently, including this fish stand. So if I see this correctly, it's gonna be something like this. They have this piece in blue. I did not realize that, but I don't think this is a new recolor just for this set. Still, it's always nice to see color consistency. So this is nice part usage. We're using this piece not for decoration because it's going to be hidden away, but just to block this from fling too much. So just to get that perfect angle, we're using this piece here. That's probably the Lego designer that did that. And here we have the silverfish. Which contrasts well with the blue fish stand. So this is probably the fresh fish that just caught. All the Lego fish are the same size, so it's hard to tell the species just from the color or just from the shape because they're all the same size, but the color can give us some hints. Although I've never seen a fish with this exact color before, or this color to be fair. And those are actually built next. So we have this piece right here, which has some hollow studs on the side. And we're going to use these gun pieces, not as guns, but as basically fish holders. So we'll just insert this as far as it can go. And repeat that for the remaining guns. These are also water nozzles. I think that's their official Lego name. But I've also seen them used as like blasters in Star Wars sets, I believe, or some similar action theme like that. And then we're just going to hang the fish from the mouth. So these are obviously captured fish. They're no longer alive. Unless this one is intentionally left blank according to what we see in the 3D view of the set. But of course you can move the fish around and move one of them from here to here if you like. We also have what looks to be a sink of some type. And this does remind me of some of the Lego Icons builds and related modular builds. Just these small, cute little builds that just add so much life to a scene. And it's very hard to design these things with so few pieces and still have them look very nice. Anyone can build a nice looking thing if you have like a very large number of pieces, because you just throw more pieces at the problem up to a certain amount. But if you want to build a small build with just a few pieces and make it look good, that's actually quite a challenge in Lego. And I do like that the side builds are independent. You can build them independently and then just plug them in where they need to go. this olive and this sand green, blue, dark blue combination, I think, is a reference to the Lego Idea Blacksmith set from 2021 because it used very similar colors in close proximity. So I think this might be some subtle reference to it. And actually, in this set, we have gotten to the stickers. So we need to put a sticker here and another sticker on one of the gray tiles, light bluish gray tiles. This one to be specific. So this one, the sprue mark needs to point this way, and this one we have no choice. For those of you who are new to the live stream, welcome. Thank you so much for joining. Currently doing bag 3 of the Italian Riviera, which is the fish store. If you speak Italian, you can share what this is called in Italian below in the chat. We don't speak too much Italian except for things like ciao. This is going to be the price, €1.34. This is 2025, as we can see here. So they are using the Italian currency currently, which is the euro. So that's actually not a bad price. Not a bad price. €1.34. That's about $2 US or 250 Canadian, something like that. For a pretty big crab. And I'll build that and you'll see what I'm talking about really soon. So we're basically talking about this. Let me just check one thing. Yeah, this goes here, and then this jumper on top of it. There's a very slight overhang from the front and a bit more from the rear. You have this fried crab for €1.34. That's an excellent deal. Probably the best deal you'll ever get. I just hope the quality is good. And here we're using one of the daggers, and actually we'll be using both in this bag. This is used as a professional knife. And this is probably intended to represent some fish that has been caught or captured. And like now it's being cut up into different like fillets or something like that. It might be cooked or uncooked, I'm not sure. So yeah, let's plug these in the build right now before the roof gets too high. And then we'll finish up the roof and we'll be done with this bag. Sorry, not the roof, but the rest of the walls. Hopefully you understand what I mean. So this goes here actually. Right here. And that's why we did not add tiles here. So yeah, that fits perfectly. Then we have the rest of the fish is going to be in close proximity with this green fish practically touching this display right here. We'll get back to the other bricks soon enough. And then basically here, we're going to attach this table. I wish they used jumpers here so you could remove it easily. Because now if you want to take it off, it's going to not come out as easily. So that's a small miss right there. They could have like attached this whole thing with just 1 or 2 studs. But again, that's something that's easy enough to solve with your own pieces if you want to have this on regular display and be looking at it all the time. Finally, this goes here, the sink, and maybe this is a grill. I'm not quite sure. Or maybe it's a cleaning area of some sort. It's hard to know for sure. But anyways, this goes here. It's probably a water source or a faucet. Right? Basically, you turn this and water comes out from down below. So yeah, that's... Oh, and we have the barrel as well. The barrel is attached to these 2 studs. And in the barrel, we just put this. It's not really attached, it's just hanging there, so we can do that at the very end. Or give this to the fisherman later. I know there's going to be a fisherman in the set. So now we can continue building the rest of the wall. More headlight bricks to attach the number of the, basically the street number. And because this is a headlight brick, the tile is going to be recessed a little bit by basically 1/4 of a plate. It's interesting they did that. It doesn't make a huge difference, but it's something. And the bucket goes right here. Although of course it can be removed and used by the minifigures. I'm gonna have to pause the ads or mute the ads. I'll restart the music. So now these tiles are going to be attached using only this stud, which I think is not enough. I do wish that they attached this from the top as well, or from the middle, just to have a bit more stability. So if young kids play with this, they're going to knock off these pieces very easily because they're held together by just 1 stud. That is a nitpick. I know that they cannot be attached with anything else because nothing else would fit. So that I can say with confidence right now, even without building the rest of the set. Or maybe something will hold them from the front so that they don't go anywhere, but I doubt that. I really doubt that. So here, interestingly enough, we have some accessories that are clipped on. What I don't like about these clips is the sprue marks that must be visible from the outside. I wish they would put the sprue mark on the side or on the underside. That would be the best place for the sprue mark, in my opinion. But that's probably not easy to do for them. I know they can do it if they really want to. But they're probably not going to redesign this mold just to hide the sprue mark. But yeah, here's where the other knife or dagger goes, as well as the cleaver, which here is actually used as a cleaver and not as a Speed Champions engine accessory or car accessory, because sometimes we get so used to this being nice part usage that we forget that we could use it just as a regular cleaver. There's still a few pieces remaining, so let's take a quick look, make sure we've not missed anything. This goes at the top here. And we have basically this, and everything else is extra parts, I think. So give me a moment to look for that. Oh, right here. I don't think most people would notice this as an error, but basically underneath these grills we have this piece, just to make the difference a little bit less stark. So that's what it's supposed to look like. And there we go. There's one more possibly transparent piece. This, because we already have an extra piece, and I know LEGO does not give multiple extras anymore. So where is this used? Other than where we already used it. Yes, it is used here. So we're putting it here just to represent some moisture that basically fell on the ground right there. I'll just rearrange these slightly. All right. Bag 3 starts to build up the fishing store. So we got here this deep fried crab, as well as a bunch of fish on sale, and some accessories, as well as this fishing net. And we do notice that in this fishing store, there's some holes in the wall. So it's quite a mystery. Why are there holes in the wall? Hopefully we'll find out in a future building phase. So let's get ready for bag number 4. There are 25 bags in this thing. So if you divide it into 5 days of building, it would be 5 bags every day. but some of the bags are different sizes, so it's hard to know if that will work for sure. Okay, so let's open up bag 4. As usual, I'll show you the pieces, then I'll bring them closer to me to make the build process a bit more comfortable. And again, no minifigures in bag 4. Everything I see here is pretty standard. Over here, pretty much the same thing. This is maybe the only piece that is a nice part usage. So this is like a big gun or a blaster or even a harpoon gun, you might want to call it that. I'm going to try to get it to focus. So yeah, so this piece right here is going to be used in some clever part usage. It's not going to be used in its intended form as a gun, although you could always use that piece this way if you want to. So this is an interesting piece in this bag. Everything else is pretty much standard, as you can see here. So again, I'll just bring the pieces closer to me because that just makes my life a lot easier. Basically, I don't have to sprain my back as much. And I think there was a small disconnection, although we seem to be back live right now. And so I'll bring this and let me see, is it better? I'll start building from the back and then I'll flip it over. Looks like we're going to be using this flake and building on top of it. There's going to be like a grotto or a cave here that's done intentionally, I believe. Yeah, so this is going to be like a small little cave. It's too small to fit a minifigure standing up, but maybe sitting down. And it will fit the crab, of course. So I'm guessing there's going to be another plate right here. That is almost certainly the case. The only plates that have a dimension of 2 along one axis are these. So this goes here. Nothing else fits. Same thing for the bricks of this particular dimension. Nothing else can make sense except this one. So it has to be it. So yeah, we're using the process of elimination a lot in this part of the building phase, which is good. It means we know for sure that this is how it's going to be. Although this is actually shifted over like this. Again, trying to align the sprue marks to always have the same direction as much as possible. I need a 1 by 1. Yes. We're building some kind of fountain or watering device. And some of these pieces are also used to build up the fishing store. So we can use those pieces as well and remove them from the pile of pieces. This assembly reminds me of what we've seen in the Natural History Museum for basically managing the water, the storm pipe. Yeah, you see the same patterns coming again and again. It's slightly crooked. There we go. And I might be running out of juice here. Yeah, so I plugged it in just in time. All right, I'm still good to go. Although I might want to turn off anything that's non-essential. I'll turn off the device camera light for a while, just because I'm running a bit low on battery. I hope it doesn't die. And if the stream disconnects and does not come back, that's the reason why. I thought I plugged it in at the start of the stream, but I guess I forgot. I wish there was like a warning, like a flashing light in the YouTube streaming application that says, hey, you're gonna run out of battery soon. Make sure to charge your device. And I'm still, even with it plugged in, I'm still losing battery. Huh. I turned off the flash. I turned off a bunch of stuff like Bluetooth that I'm not using. If I turn off Wi-Fi, the live stream will end. And the screen is at the minimum brightness. But the battery is still not going up. But let's give it maybe a few minutes. Maybe it will recover. Maybe it's lagging a bit behind. On your side though, it shouldn't impact what the live stream looks like. But in case I have to cut this short, then thank you for attending the live stream, and we'll resume probably tomorrow, if possible. I do intend on resuming tomorrow, although there's some construction at my place of residence that might make things a bit more challenging. But do follow the page and you will get updates as soon as I learn of the new information. And actually these last pieces, we're not able to add them now because we need to build some stuff here first, then add this thing here to lock everything in place. Okay, so now we need to think about what to do here. I do see a gray brick here, followed by, yeah, so I don't see where this goes. I only see the jumpers, actually. I do see where one of them goes. So I do need one of these reserved, meaning that I can use this one here. Hopefully I'm not wrong, because there's no other 1x2 that makes sense to put here. But then if I do that, I can put this gray piece here. I'll see, can I attach this right away? I think so. adjust that better from the front. Oh, unfortunately, it looks like my battery is basically gone at this point, so I have to cut the live stream short. So I will say goodbye to everyone right now. Thank you so much for tuning in, and I'll see you all in the next one. Sorry about that. Bye bye.